Good day, friends and relatives. So, yeah, finally it's Sunday. Let's do like a electronics oral talks. Yeah, this is the day that I choose to come closer to you guys because you are leaving comments, and your comments, they are so much important. We value all the comments, be it negative or a positive comment, but I value every comment that comes through the channel. So this is a good day to attend to comment section. Huh? Yeah, so it's now in the afternoon. Just stay relaxed. Whatever we are eating, let's eat while talking one or two things about electronics repairs. Huh? So after attending to comment section, we have a small job. We have this laptop which is coming from a customer. We'll see about the laptop later. But at the moment, let's attend to comment section. Let's attend to comment section. So, yeah, we have to move together. We have to move together. So here, we are on the community dashboard on YouTube Studio, where we want to attend to certain comments from the subscribers. I think it's good to do that. It's worth to do it. So yeah, this was 3 hours ago. We have this comment from one of our subscribers saying this was too easy. Sometimes tell us how much are you charging for the customer. Huh? This was too easy. How much are you charging for the customer? Huh? What do you think about this comment? There's nothing easy in repairs because the fact that the customer did not manage to do the repair on his own and they send it to a repair shop, it means it's not a simple repair. And what you are charging on the end of the repairs, we are not charging the simplicity or the complexity of the repair. But what we are doing, we are charging. If it's a motherboard repair on laptops, we are charging same price. If it's that was a satellite receiver which I fixed, the cost of the repair is the same, be it a simple repair or a complex repair. Because what you are paying whenever you take your device to a repair shop or your car to a mechanic, you are paying the knowledge. You are not paying the simplicity or the complexity of the job. Huh? I think that's very clear. You are paying the knowledge that you don't have. Because of course that knowledge comes after a long time of experience. So like on those decoders, those open view decoders here in Zimbabwe, I'm charging something like $10. Yeah, I'm charging a fixed price on decoders, $10 for a repair. I'm not charging diagnosis fee because here the workflow is very low. You can't charge that. If you charge that, trust me, you lose a lot of customers. So we want to get rid of all the customers that we have. We don't want to miss any dollar because after all, whatever we're doing is business, and uh, we should take note of every dollar and try to have a favorable condition for the customer so that they will still come back with other jobs. Huh? So I can say that is the right reply that I can give you based on the region that I have, that I am doing these repairs. Huh? We have another comment here from the subscriber. He's saying, my own inverter has the similar problem. I have my own inverter that is similar to this. I was using it, then suddenly I see the overload light and it's sent to return, and also sent return to the batteries with high sparks. Let's see this invert. Let's see this. I think we can go back to the video. We can go back to the video. Yeah, you remember those type of inverters, those small blue inverters. Here, what do you have here? We have this big linear transformer, the round transformer. Here we have the PCB board, and the way how these inverters they are working. Here we have the battery. We have plus and minus, which is coming from the battery, and the 12 volts. This transformer is a step-up transformer. It's a step-up transformer because here on the output we have high voltage AC, and all that AC we are getting it from this PCB board, which has some MOSFETs and the driver. And in most cases, what do we have there? We have two MOSFETs and the controller on those small inverters. So if you see something like that and you have overload light, you may check those MOSFETs, because you have two N-channel MOSFETs there. You check those MOSFETs for not to be on short. If the MOSFETs are good, and if you change MOSFETs and it's not working, it's worth to jump and change also the controller. In most cases we have a controller there. It's like here I don't have those kind of boards, but I was going to show you. So you change the MOSFETs. If it's not working, change the controller. You must have a working inverter again, because that's the most common fault on such kind of inverters. MOSFETs are dying so easily. I was still on the comment section. I have a same motherboard. Fan is working, but no display. Let's see on this one. This video, I think it's an old video, which I've done 1 year ago. 1 year ago, that was an HP ProBook 650 G2 motherboard that came in for repair. That was a repair attempt. I could not even fix the motherboard because this motherboard was having too many faults. If you have no display, one second. If you have no display, You have to focus on few things. I explained these things so many times. If you have no display, what you have to check the RAM. Try with a different RAM. What else you can try? We're speaking of the basics. Try with a different RAM. Um, if you have a BIOS battery, you can try to reset the BIOS. Reset the BIOS battery by taking out the BIOS battery and short pins on the BIOS battery connector. Huh? You can try with the external screen. You can try with the external screen. Maybe you have a faulty screen. Maybe this is happening because of a faulty screen. So try with the external screen and see what will happen. If you have tried all these things and it's not giving you the right answer that you want, you can try to reprogram BIOS. You can try to reprogram the BIOS chip. You know, on this new model of laptops, the firmware from the BIOS chip is getting corrupt so easily. So you can try to reprogram the BIOS, and if all those four things are not giving you the answer, you have tried the different RAMs, you have reprogrammed the BIOS, you have tried with the external screen, still don't have the answer. On the RAM, you can check the RAM power supply. RAM power supply. You can check the RAM power supply to see if you have voltage on the RAM. You must have around 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 to 2 point something volts depending on the laptop. Check the RAM power supply to see if you have voltage, and also check the GPU power supply. You can check the GPU power supply to have like 1 volts. In most cases, in most of the laptops, it's working. The GPU is working with around 1 volt, and this GPU, I found it's inside the processor. So if it happens that the worst case this GPU died, probably you can't do anything. You can't do anything because in order to fix this issue, you must have a BGA machine, which I can't buy from this end in Zimbabwe because it's not worth to buy it. It's expensive, and people they are using like on average 200 to 300 USD laptops, and you won't recover the money. So this is the worst scenario when you have a dead GPU inside the processor. The laptop is coming on, no display. You can't do anything, and you have to accept the defeat. That is the most common problem that we have with so many technicians. They don't want to accept defeat. You think you are a technician and you can fix everything that comes to a workshop. It's not. It doesn't work that way. You might fix like 50-60% of the devices that came in, but there are some faults which are not meant to be fixed, and you have to accept that. So let's move on the comment section. What else do we have here? I think I killed the motherboard. I left it too for that. Yeah, that was a TV board repair. Sometimes, yeah, bad things can happen. You know the probes for the multimeter. You can touch. You can short any power rail to ground and kill the board. It's very common. It's very common. If you are a technician, I'm sure you once come across such kind of incidents. Bad things can happen. You can kill the device that came in like a half-dead device, and you kill it forever. Um, I'm checking on comments. I'm checking on comments. A good work say do a video where you explain and show how 19 volts power flow in the motherboard. I don't know how many times did I explain this. Huh? I explained these things so many times on my videos. If you go on the playlist of the videos, you see there's a beginner area there. Go to the beginner lessons. I explained these things so many times. Huh? I explained these things so many times. So the flow on the 19 volts power line is like this. It's very simple, but let's do it again. We've done it, but let's do it again. Let's do it again. Because some people we've been together since the beginning of the channel. Some they just joined the channel. They never seen those old videos, but you have to go there. You have to go back and check old videos. We have some playlist, and on the beginner area you see I explain this thing. So only 90% or 80% of the laptops is like this. We have the charging port here, we have the plus, we have the ground here. The plus 19 volts is coming into the motherboard. That's the charging port here. And on some HP and Dell laptop motherboards, we have the middle pin here. And this middle pin is communicating with the BQ chip to identify the charger and also the charging current. That's the charger ID pin. It's going to the charger ID pin. So the 19 volts is going through some MOSFETs which are on serial mode. Huh? And in most cases, those are N-channel MOSFETs. 4 pins together, which is drain. That's the drain. We have 3 pins together. Here, 3 pins together on the input of the second one, and 4 pins together on the output. And here we have the current resistor, current sensor, current resistor or current sensor. This is the first MOSFET and this is the second MOSFET. Those MOSFETs are on serial mode. And what they are doing, they are acting exactly as switches. So if you put your multimeter on diode mode, you check from the plus of the charging port, you must see this MOSFET is beeping here. If you see 3-4 pins beeping, that's your first MOSFET. And if you go on the output of that MOSFET, you must have a beep to the second MOSFET, and from the output of the second MOSFET, we have a current resistor. And the gates of this MOSFET, they are going to the BQ chip. That's the charging controller. It's very simple. This is this simple schematics of the input section of 80 to 90% of the laptops. Except some new model of laptops which are working with USB-C, where there's a PD controller which is stepping the main 19 volts, which is stepping down the 19 volts to 12 point something or 13 point something. We have any power delivery, switching power supply, which is generating the main power rail, which is less than 19 volts. So this BQ chip is managing this input MOSFET, and it's also managing whatever to do with the battery. Because we have the battery On the battery is charged based on current basis. Or the voltage is not important, but batteries they are charging. All the lithium batteries they are charging on current basis. So this BQ chip is communicating with the EC chip. If you have a faulty battery, that's why you see some pop-up message plugged in, not charging, uh, or plugged in, charging. But when you take out the charger, the laptop is shutting down immediately. It means that the internal capacitance of the battery will be very low. The cells they are no longer in a capacitance to hold the charge. We'll be having a dead battery. Okay, so this is the input section on many laptops. If you know this, you'll be able to fix most of the laptop, because I found most of the fault on this input MOSFETs, and this is what is inside those MOSFETs. What you will find inside is a diode. You get a diode there, huh? You get a diode because they put this MOSFET so that when the power is coming, when you unplug the charger and the power is coming from the battery, what those MOSFETs they are doing, they are preventing the battery voltage to be seen on this charging port. That is the reason why those MOSFETs they are there. And they are also acting as a switches. In case of anything happen on the motherboard, they are cutting down the power just to protect the entire circuit. So I never stress myself fixing this input section because this is a switch and you can jump with a wire from the charging port to the current sensor. You can do that because they are just passing 19 volts into the motherboard. And from the current sensor, the voltage is going everywhere. We have 1.5 volts for the RAM. We have 5 volts for the USB. We have 1 volt for the GPU. Huh? The voltage is going everywhere. So I explained these things many times, but I think what you have to do, try to go back to the beginner area. You see some videos about the basics of how the motherboards are working. Huh? So let's move on. Let's move on. Good work. Does the mod last longer than the original? A subscriber is asking, on TV boards, the 5 volts driver is dying so easily. So sometimes we are improvising and use a linear regulator LM7805, or I'm using like a powerful car charger as a regulator. And I never found any problem like coming back jobs, coming back complaints. On all the TVs that I fixed it that way, they never come back. Say I have my Acer Aspire E1531 motherboard, no power. I use petrol for cleaning my laptop, but the chipset is overheating. Please provide a solution. That's the most common mistake that is made by so many subscribers. They think I can fix things on air. I can't fix things on air because in order to fix, I have to check what's going on there. I have to see the motherboard on my own and I do my checking based on what I see. But the chipset, um, heating up, it does not necessarily mean that the chipset is dead. Maybe the MOSFETs, because this chipset is being working with 3.3 volts. We have an independent 3.3 volts power switching power supply, which is providing voltage to the chipset. Maybe one of the MOSFET is open, and uh, in order for, instead of having 3.3, the chipset is receiving higher voltage than the normal voltage that is supposed to be. So you have to locate the power supply for the chipset and check the MOSFETs. You might be lucky to be the MOSFETs, to replace the MOSFET if the MOSFET is open, especially the high side MOSFET. If the high side MOSFET is open, you might be lucky to replace it and have a working motherboard again. But in most scenario, when the chipset received too much voltage, is dying, and there's nothing that you can do there unless if you have a BGA machine and you have a reliable source to get the chipset for replacement. So that's the thing. Like I said, not all jobs are meant to be fixed. You have to accept the defeat and move on. What are the reading codes for the power supply should for the power supply should gives to diagnose a laptop board, please? I don't know what this subscriber is saying exactly. I don't know what this subscriber is saying exactly. But on the power supply, you can see here. You see here. This is my power supply. It's 19 volts. Let me make it bigger. Let's take out this multimeter here. We don't need it. Let's make this bigger, like this. This is my power supply. It's 19 volts here. It's stretching up to 5 amps. It's 5.2 amps, and on the voltage is 60 volts. 60 volts, 5 amps. This is the power supply that I'm using for fixing various laptop motherboards. And the trick about this power supply, I don't really get your questions so clear. But what I think you are asking about is there any certain voltage or a certain current to diagnose laptop motherboards? There's no universal method, like there's no proper way, or what can I say? There's no proper codes like voltage and current to diagnose. It depends with what we are working. Let's take, for instance, we have this motherboard. This is some kind of ESA motherboard. Here we have this charging port. We have an inductor. We have those MOSFETs. Let's see under microscope if we can see those MOSFETs. Yeah, that's the input section. That's the input section. We have this MOSFET, this one. We have this one. We have this current resistor. This is the input section. And if you are to work with the power supply, here my power supply is working up to 60 volts. But my advice, if you are working with the power supply, try to work with very low voltage and very low current, just not to cause further damage. Just imagine here, this is the 19 volts power line. If I connect right now, this is a working motherboard. If I connect right now this power supply set on 60 volts, 5 amps, definitely I'm going to kill this motherboard because of high voltage. So you have to know what you are checking exactly. Even with 1 volt, even if we lower the voltage, we can lower this to 1 volt, and we don't need too much current. 1 volt, 1 amp. Even if there's a short here on the main 19 volts power line, with 1 volt you can be able to see the short. You can be able to see the short. So if we are to work with the switching powers, with the variable power supply, you have to know what you are checking. If you are to check the 19 volts power line, you can stretch the voltage to 10 volts, even less than 19 volts. If you are to work on the RAM power supply, which is meant to work with the 1.5 volts, and you inject 19 volts on the 1.5 volts power rail, definitely whatever on that power rail will be gone. Like, or you are checking the vehicle or section for the processor, and you are putting your variable DC power supply on 19 volts, you kill the motherboard. You kill the processor. Instantly, that processor will be gone, and you never achieve the repair. So there's no such cause. But what you have to do, if you are to work with the variable power supply, try to use as low voltage as you can, as low current as you can. Because even if I inject 1 volt there with 1 amp, if there's a short, I will see it. I might be unable to feel what is taking that current, but that is the the reason why, as a technician, you must have a thermal camera. Huh? Somebody somebody explained to me, you bought this thermal camera, but you rarely use it. For sure, I rarely use it because sometimes the faults are obvious. I can see the fault is coming from here, from this power supply, is coming from this ceramic capacitor. That's my problem. This MOSFET, that's my problem. But if you are unable to see the short, it's good to work with the thermal camera, because here we can see the short. Even the short is drawing like 200, 300 milliamps. With the thermal camera, it's very possible to see that here we have a problem. The area will be heating up, taking too much heat. Huh? So that's the thing about the power supply. Avoid using power supply if you don't have knowledge, or you are not sure about um, where to inject voltage, because you can end up creating a bigger problem. Or please say, I'm joining you from Nigeria. If I order a BIOS programmer, how can it reach me? On ordering things, usually from my end, I'm using mostly AliExpress, and I'm sure AliExpress um, is a global market for every country. All what you have to do is to go on your phone. You go on Play Store, you download the app, you create an account, and you look for verified suppliers. How do you know this is a good supplier or not? Check on number of sales that particular product has been sold by that particular supplier. That is my first thing to check. If I want to buy like a DC power supply, I go on AliExpress platform. I see, oh, this supply managed to sell more than 2,000 DC power supplies. It means automatically that is a reliable supplier, because you can't sell too much if you are unreliable. You lose a lot of trust. People, they don't order from you. Plus, on the AliExpress, people, they are leaving feedback. It's very important to read other customers' reviews, how they review when they reached when the product reached to their far end. That will tell you about whether this is a good supply or not. It's very cheap. You order the programmer, you choose a proper shipping method based on your country. I'm sure you must receive the item without any problem. Say, how do I know MOSFET good or bad using a multimeter? Huh? How do you know if a MOSFET is good or a bad using a multimeter? Let's go under microscope. Let's look for a MOSFET from this motherboard. I'm sure there are some MOSFETs there. This is a MOSFET, diode mode. Let's do some checkings there. And remember, we still have a laptop to fix, but we'll see that after. So here's a MOSFET. On MOSFET, we have a dot here, which is pin number 1. Number 1, 2, 3. These first 3 pins is source, and the last pin is the gate. So source to gate should not beep. Like you can see, it's not beeping, but if we check with the third pin, it's beeping, because those 3 pins, they are together. This is source. And on the other side, all 4 pins, they are together because it's drain. So here we have drain. Drain to source should not beep, and source to gate should not beep. Neither gate to drain should not beep. So that is the best way to check a MOSFET. If a MOSFET is shorted, let's take this MOSFET, this one which is not soldered on the motherboard, this one. Here we have 4 pins, which is drain, 3. So this should not beep with any pin from this side. We have a beep, we have a beep, we have a beep, we have a beep. So this is a bad MOSFET. So this can clearly explain why this MOSFET is not on the motherboard. Huh? This is a bad MOSFET. So that's how you check whether a MOSFET is good or not. Huh? That's how you check whether the MOSFET is good or not. What a MOSFET is like this. That's our MOSFET. We have 4 pins together, which is drain. We have 3 pins here. That's our source. We have another pin which is going to the power management chip. That is the gate. Source, gate, source, drain combination should not be mixed up. If you see a beep from source to drain, or from drain to source, or from gate to source, it means that MOSFET has a problem. That MOSFET has a problem. So now we need to do one more repair for the weekend. What do you think? We need just to do one more repair for the weekend. This laptop, I think I managed to answer most of the questions. So here we have a laptop. We have a laptop. Let's go to 19 volts. 19. How many amps? 3 amps. 19 volts, 3 amps. We have this laptop. Power on. It's not coming on. This is the HP ProBook i3 processor. HP ProBook 11 G2. I fixed so many laptops like this. But let's see what this laptop is doing. Maybe we can help the customer. Maybe we can help the customer. Plugged in, it's taking 23 milliamps. 10, power on, it's coming on. Caps lock is flashing. And we have the beep. You hear the beep? And the caps lock is flashing. So, what do you think is the problem with this laptop? Caps lock flashing and is beeping. It means that the motherboard already passed the test. It means the motherboard passed the test, is trying to post, but because of something, it's not posting. So those beeps, from what I know, let's get inside and try to fix this. But from my own understanding, I would say I will start on the RAM. Maybe we have a fault RAM. So all the screws are out. Let's see. The backup is out. We have the RAM here. Let's see whether this laptop is still doing what it was doing before. Because whatever we're doing here must be real. We're not here to edit things or to create movies. We're doing reality. What we are facing on is on. We are still beeping. So let's jump into it. RAM. This is DDR PC4 DDR4. PC4 4 gig RAM. On. Same issue. Let's look for a different RAM. Let's look for a different RAM. Let's look for a different RAM and see how this laptop is going to behave. On 600 and it's working. What did I told you? So this is a faulty RAM. This is a faulty RAM. That's the problem with this laptop, and it's loading Windows. So yeah, the whole idea of this video was just to give someone a clue about how you can diagnose some fault you can fix. This is a simple fault. Hmm? Simple fault. So if you have this HP Pro book 11G2, it's beeping. First, you focus on the RAM. Focus on the RAM. And it's coming on and it's beeping. We have a fault RAM. So repairs, they are not the same. Repairs, they are not the same because it's all about country. Here, 80 to 90% they are using cheap laptops, and you can't charge too much. And whatever we are doing on the motherboard, we are charging same price. Here we are charging something like $40. To us here in my country, it's okay. It's okay. But if you are fixing like doing this kind of job in a developed country, you are fixing some MacBooks, you are fixing some more modern laptops, which are maybe 1,000 to 2,000 US. You can charge even $100, $200 for repair, and people they still pay. But from my end, it's impossible. It's impossible. So I'm still stuck here until I found a better option or a better place to do this kind of job. Because whatever we are doing here, I'm doing, especially this, I'm doing out of hobby, because I have other things that I do behind the scenes for a living, other than doing repairs. But yeah, you can still you can still have a good life doing repairs. But to be a millionaire doing repairs only, I don't believe that. To be a millionaire doing repairs only, I don't believe that, because those uh, people whom you think they've made it doing repairs, I'm sure if you meet them physically, you will see that there's something that they are doing apart from doing repairs. And they come to their channels like showing up or telling people that they've made it doing repairs. Um, that's a lie. I don't believe in that, because here you on this kind of jobs you can have like a good life. Yeah, you can have a good life, but you can't make too much out of it. If you want to get really rich, I think you have to look for what people need. You have to check on people's problems, because if you can ask yourself what do people really need in life, like on daily basis, like food. If you are to start selling food, people they eat every day, yeah, you can go far. But electronics, people they don't fix device every day. Huh? On, and the laptop is coming on. You can see the HP log. It's no longer beeping. So that was the fault of this laptop. So yeah, I think I explained so many things. And if you still have some questions, and if you feel like I'm not. I didn't answer you the way that you wanted. Please don't hesitate to leave another comment, and I'll try to answer you on the next videos. Huh? So, what can I say? Have a nice weekend. Yeah, if you are in repairs, just love a job. You love a job, fix, 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 fix. But don't get stressed if you come across a job which you can't do anything, because that's the syrup of this business. Huh? You can't do everything. You can't fix everything, and the only way is to accept and move on. Huh? So like, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for future updates. And if you have a relative or a friend that you love electronics and have never come across such kind of channel, please just share the channel link to your colleagues, friends, and relatives. Um, yeah, because this channel uh, is so essential during your presence. Without you, it's nothing. So let's just support each other by sharing the content across the world. Huh? Uh, Someone was asking me for my numbers. If you check on the about section of the channel, I left my email and my WhatsApp number. But on WhatsApp number, don't don't get me wrong. Um, I'm a very busy person. If I don't answer you uh, when you leave your request or you are asking me something, if I don't answer you in time, um, just be patient. At some time, I'll open the WhatsApp and I'll try to attend to you. See you on the next one. Bye.